Yeah, okay, so I tried to do a live stream earlier tonight, and that didn't work out. The lag fairy appeared and fucked me in the ass about 800 times, so I guess we're just going to be doing this on Vlog Channel. I wanted to do something for you guys tonight. A quick update, though, about my Twitch streams, because I know they've been pretty shitty recently. I did contact my ISP about this, and he got some new equipment that he's going to hook me up with. I paid for it today, so hopefully that'll help my internet out. I don't have internet over like Comcast or Verizon or any like the really big companies. I have it over like a third-party company. There's like a guy that lives in my town, like one street over, that provides our internet. He has like his own servers and everything, and usually it's pretty good stuff. I don't know. I think it's really just an issue of my equipment being outdated, and also a lot of the packages he provides specializes in downloading speed, not so much uploading speed, because most people download. But I'm me, of course. I do streams. I upload YouTube videos, so uploading is just as important than downloading. I still need my downloading, but so I contacted him and I'm like, hey, look, man, really, I don't give a shit how much I have to pay. Just make this good. And he's like, yeah, all right, I'll see what I can do. So hopefully we'll see improvements of that in the next week when he gets this stuff set up. I hope it's just like maybe outdated equipment or something like that, or we'll figure it out. Okay, anyway, as for the story, I decided to tell you my YouTube journey, the genesis of me being on YouTube. What was the impetuous kick to it? You know what I mean. You know what I mean. All right, I'm trying to be all like philosophical and mystical here, and being like the days when Tekking decided to pick up a camera. But I mean, it's not really just one story. It's just a series of events that occur. And, I never really thought about it much until recently, what really happened at the very beginning. But I will tell you the tale, and you will know. So, this actually starts off with shitty internet. Remember dial-up? Yeah, you could hear the thunderclap in the distance when I said that. I think anybody that has dealt with it before. I mean, this new generation, I don't like to sound like an old man, because I'm not. I'm not going to sit here being like, back in my day. But no, there are kids that are teenagers now that never had to deal with that shit. My friend Chris has a younger brother who is turning 14 this year, I think. And so he was born in 2002. And while dial-up was a thing when he was, like, born, of course, he wasn't using the internet as soon as he came out of the freaking womb, so all he had to deal with is, like, when he became, just his high-speed shit. So dial-up was really fun. It was connected to the phone lines, and you had to sit there, boot up the computer, and then wait for dial-up to happen, and then that would take X amount of minutes depending on if it was a good day or not. If someone picked up the phone, that would knock you out. You get knocked out constantly. You'd be on the internet for 10 minutes and get knocked out. You just have to restart the modem. It's just after a while, you just started to realize that's just how it was. I remember playing RuneScape on that shit. Good old-fashioned 2007 RuneScape. Remember that? I would be playing RuneScape, and actually, I would be kicked offline so often that I actually just started developing a rhythm. Like, okay, next time I get kicked offline, I'll go to the bathroom, go make myself a sandwich, and that'll be good. Something like that. Well, with dial-up, it pretty much made watching videos on the internet impossible. I remember YouTube was virtually inaccessible to me when I had dial-up. Just the actual act of typing in youtube.com and waiting for it to load would take an exorbitant amount of time. The process of watching a video, forget about it. It doesn't matter. It could have been a 2-minute fucking video. It would take 20, 30 minutes to load. It would be absolutely ridiculous. I remember I wanted to watch episodes of Fooly Cooly, because I really loved that anime, Fooly Cooly, and I found some videos of it online, and they were like 20-minute episodes. I remember waiting hours, literally hours, for these episodes to load. And sometimes they would crash halfway through. I'd be waiting 2.5 hours for a episode of Fooly Cooly to load. It would get up to like 15 minutes, and then it would immediately crash, or someone would pick up the phone or something like that. And that was the dark era. All right, so I had dial-up. Most people got rid of dial-up, I would say, around 2003, 2004. We had it in our house until 2008. That was when we finally got high-speed internet, and that wasn't because of really any particular reason other than the fact that My mom was the one paying for the internet at the time. I was fucking 14 years old. I didn't have a fucking job. 15 years, sorry. I was 15 years old. I didn't have a job. And, you know, all she needed the internet for was like checking her email. That's like all she used. So, you know, the internet, I couldn't watch YouTube videos. Who gives a crap, right? That's not a big deal. So she finally decided to get high speed, though, when we had our neighbor who moved to town, and he started up his own internet business. That's when we decided to go with it. And I was exposed to the internet for the first time. Like, this was the real internet. This was not this limited dial-up, you know, thickly veiled iron curtain of a fucking internet that I've been seeing up to this point. This was the real internet. I was exposed to social media. I was exposed to YouTube. I was exposed to all the creators on YouTube. I finally it was like I was discovering a whole new universe, you know? So I started watching some YouTube videos, and this was 2008, so this was late 2008. This was probably like October 2008. So this was still relatively the beginning of YouTube. This was back during the 5-star rating system. This was back when videos could not be longer than like 10 or 15 minutes. This was back when the quality was 480p at best. You know, that this was the beginning. You know, YouTube started 2005 is when it started, but 2006 I think is when it got bought by Google and it started really kicking off. I think this was even back when the slogan of YouTube was still broadcast yourself, before YouTube decided that they don't want people broadcasting themselves. So the first guy I found on YouTube that would really shape the way I make my own videos, or really inspired me to make videos, was the Angry Video Game Nerd, James Rolfe. I remember one night I was a big fan of Friday the 13th movies, so I wanted to look something up Friday the 13th related. I went on YouTube, and I'm 15 and might as well be an infant, though, when it comes to exploring the internet. So I just went on YouTube and I typed in Friday the 13th, and I wanted to see if anyone was talking about these movies. Well, one of the first result was the Angry Video Game Nerd's review of the Friday the 13th video game for NES. And I clicked on it, and I do not believe I've ever laughed that hard in my life up to that point. I remember for like days I would watch that video and Nightmare on Elm Street, and then I'm just like slowly exposing myself to all these fucking videos, and I'm like, this is incredible. Why didn't anyone tell me this was a thing? So I started discovering other reviewers. I discovered that guy with the glasses, Doug Walker, through James Rolfe, because late 2008 is right around the time they were doing the big battle. Remember the war between the Nostalgia Critic and the Angry Video Game Nerd? So I was like right in the middle of that. I was discovering that for the first time, right when the fucking shit was going on. I discovered that guy with the glasses' own website, which started just earlier that year in April 2008. That was launched. It's Channel Awesome now. Discovered James' website, discovered the Spoonie one, Noah Antweiler, also one of my huge reviewers, although Spoonie back in the day is not Spoonie now. It's actually kind of sad. The only reviewer that I think I would say is the same or gotten better since those days is probably the Nostalgia Critic. I mean, his reviews are still just as entertaining. James doesn't... He still makes videos, but they're only about once a month, and I wouldn't be upset about that if it was, you know, he has other stuff going on, so I'm not upset that the reviews are only once a month. I'm upset that it doesn't look like he brings as much passion to his reviews anymore. You know, the old-fashioned AVGN reviews, you know, he would get up, he would do skits, he would dress up, he would have all this crazy editing, and that's what I loved him for. You know, that's what inspired me to do what I'm doing. Now it seems like most of his reviews, he's kind of scaled it back a bit to just traditional, just sitting on a couch playing a video game, and it doesn't seem like he's really just bringing the energy as much, you know. I would much rather prefer, I mean, he did the big movie, you know, which I actually have on my computer, and I have my own thoughts about the movie. I personally didn't really enjoy it too much, but, you know, that's just me. I would have actually been more happy with him just having the movie and that just capping off the AVGN character, and he can move on to other stuff, because the guy has talent. That was a digression, I apologize. Well, anyway, and then Noah also. I love his older shit way more than what he's turning out now, because he barely does any review thing now. I mean, it's mostly just the wrestle shit and Counter Monkey, which I love Counter Monkey. It's just, it seems like he doesn't really do all that much anymore. Oh, well, that's 8 years past. Holy shit. Anyway, the first thing I did in terms of videos is after watching James and Noah, I decided, you know what, I want to make videos. So you know what I did? We had this old shitty video camera. I have it right here still. This is a Sony Handycam. We got this refurbished for like family vacations and shit that we just had lying around. So no one was using it. So I got it, and I would set it right over there on my dresser, pointing at me, and I would talk into the camera sitting on the edge of my bed here. And I would talk about the first video I've ever made, like, period. Any video, period, other than just, like, randomly fucking around with the camera. Like, this is our backyard. This is our dog Lucky. This is our refrigerator. You know, the first video where I actually sat down and discussed a topic specifically was about Friday the 13th. I went through a brief retrospective on all the movies right here on the edge of my bed, just talking into the camera, no editing, nothing like that. I would jump up around, you know, I was like, hey, I'm really excited about this part, and I would get up, and I had a mask and everything, and it was really dorky. I looked around for it, because I would actually be interested in what your reaction to it would be, but I'm pretty sure it's gone forever, because this recorded on actual tapes, and I believe I threw away a lot of those tapes, so I don't think that'll ever see the light of day again. I'm pretty sure that's rotting in a dumpster somewhere, in some garbage heap, but this is what I reviewed. I filmed this, all my medieval reviews pretty much with this, too, so yeah, but, so that was the first, and I did a few videos like that. I did one on Nightmare on Elm Street, I did one on Halloween, and I never uploaded these to YouTube. I never upload. They were just, like, for my own personal reference. I just filmed myself talking about shit, and would later watch myself talking about this shit. I never even considered, I didn't even have a YouTube account at this point. I just saw that people were talking about it, so I wanted to see if I would like doing it too, and I liked it. So at this point in the story, I just sound like a fucking crazy man, just filming myself and then watching myself multiple times, and this was entertainment for me. Well, this was when I was a sophomore in high school. I remember at the end of my sophomore year, like June of 2009, that's when I started the YouTube channel Tekking 101. In case you're curious about the name of Tekking 101, I picked it. That was a name I've been using for many years before that. The reason for it is actually really stupid. I was like 12 when I came up with it. I was watching Zoe 101, which was a show on Nickelodeon starring Jamie Lynn Spears, Britney Spears' younger sister, so that's where the 101 comes from. But anyway, I was trying to talk to... I really love that show. And I was trying to get on some internet forums, and of course, internet forums, what do you need? You need a username. So I thought, well, I'm kind of like, I was a spoiled kid because I was an only child, so I pretty much got all the game consoles, everything I wanted. So I'm like, I'm kind of like the Tech King. Ha ha ha. Get it? Funny. Tekking 101. I wish I could tell you a more badass origin of my name. Maybe I might make a video about that in the future. I'll make a really elaborate video where I tell you about the origin of my name, and then you guys will know the truth. But yeah, that's where I started the name. If I knew I was going to get this big, I probably would have fucking capitalized the T in Tekking, but what are you going to do, right? So I started the channel. The first video I ever uploaded on the channel, I deleted about an hour after. I had this, I filmed it with this. And it was like a video, I think I entitled it, I'm Bored. Yeah, you gotta love YouTube videos like that, where it's just like, I'm bored. My first video. My first YouTube video. Yeah, you gotta love those really gripping titles right there, right? I made a video where I was pretty much doing the same YouTube diary of the mouth as a lot of people do when they're first starting out, like, hey everybody, so this is my first YouTube video. Don't really know what to talk about. And then my phone rings. My shitty 2009 LG chocolate. And it's my friend Nick from school. So I start talking to him like, hey Nick, guess what? You're going to be in a YouTube video. I didn't even expect this. This is exciting. I'm talking to my friend on the phone on a YouTube video. Isn't that fucking crazy? This is quality entertainment. So I uploaded that to the internet, and I deleted it like an hour later, because it was pretty ridiculous. I didn't start uploading actual content for about a month or so, and then I started uploading the medieval reviews, which are still up. You can go back on my channel. I watched the very beginning. It's the first video I've ever done is Medieval Game Review Part Number 1. And it just took off from there. I just started doing that, and that didn't take off. That didn't do very well. But I remember those days because I wasn't very popular, and I was just starting out, so I rarely got any comments. I rarely got any ratings. I remember waking up every day and hoping that I would get a comment on my video. I remember that. I remember being like, I hope I get a comment. Oh, nothing today. I hope I get a comment. Oh, nothing today. Which is hilarious now because I'm getting hundreds fucking comments every day. But I would get like a comment like every week or so. I would get like one comment on my videos, sometimes not even that. And the comments would always be pretty much negative, roundly negative. They'll be like, your fucking review sucks. I remember one where I said in the video, like, I really want to belong on YouTube, and one of the guys commented, like, if you really want to be on YouTube, shut your fucking faggot mouth and just, and it's like, oh, great stuff, guys, great stuff. Well, anyway, that's how YouTube was at the beginning. And I did the reviews of Medieval, and they didn't really kick off, but I got about 60 subscribers from it, and I got, like, a few people I could actually talk to, a few of my first-time subscribers. One of them was a guy from Ireland named Kieran, so that was kind of nice. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm not really that popular. I'm not like fucking Fred. Fred was the hip thing. He was the Pootie Pie of the 2009 YouTube version, okay? He was the first guy to hit 1 million subs, which I know now is not that big of a deal. You can look up, like, the top 500 most popular YouTubers, and pretty much all of them have over 1 million subscribers. But Fred was really big back in the day. Niga Higa, he was really big. Smosh. I'm gonna like, slight digression about Smosh and all of them. I think, those are the people that got really lucky because they started early. I'm not saying Smosh isn't funny. They're funny. I'm just saying that if Smosh were to start their channel right now, they wouldn't be nearly as popular. There's some people you have to say that a big chunk of their popularity comes from the fact that they were the first people on YouTube to really grab that market, Same thing with Angry Video Game Nerd, like, not a lot. The very idea, I mean, I should do a separate video just on me analyzing how YouTube changed our fucking culture, because I wrote a freaking paper on it. But, it really did, because the idea, if I can time travel back to the 90s and tell you, like, okay, this is a concept for a new TV show. People are playing video games, and you see their images in the little box, and then you're gonna see their reactions to video games. People would look at me like, how the fuck would that be entertaining? No, it's a shitty TV show idea. No one would watch that. And now it's one of the most popular formats on YouTube. But yeah, Angry Video Game Nerd really started the whole idea of, this is how, well, he didn't do Let's Plays because Let's Plays weren't a thing back then, but video game reviewing, and that's how that started. One of the reasons I really sucked on doing Medieval reviews, though, and they did suck, is because I wasn't really being me. Because I was used to watching AVGN, so I was like, oh, I guess that's how you get really popular on YouTube. Just be very angry for no reason at YouTube at games. So I was being angry at Medieval, which is a game I loved very much, and I still do. And I was like, yeah, look at this intro scene. It goes on for like 2 minutes. They expect us to believe anything. Yeah, look how he moves. You expect us to believe? Like, I was getting mad over this, like, just for the sake of, like, anything that I could think of to nitpick, I would get mad over. And in my squeaky little 15, 16-year-old voice, and I just got my braces on, so I fed my S's and my T's. Oh my God, they expect us to believe anything with that. I was pretty shitty. But I did Medieval. And that Medieval sequel, it's Medieval 2, was its sequel. And after that, I didn't do anything on the channel. I was done with that by 2010. I was actually debating to delete the channel because I just had no other ideas. I did a vlog from time to time, but that was it. And then senior year, I didn't do much of anything. I did a zombie movie, which I showed on my Twitch stream on New Year's. That's also available on my channel. Just type in zombie film. That was in 2010. But I was honestly thinking about erasing everything because I felt I failed. I wasn't making any money off of it. This was back when you would actually have to be asked to be partnered. Nowadays, everybody is like automatically partnered. But back then, you actually had to send in like application forms, and usually they would reject you. 9 times out of 10, they would reject you. Usually, you had to wait for them to approach you about partnership. Well, anyway, I keep saying anyway. Apologize, verbal auxiliaries are a bitch. But I graduate high school and summer starts and I'm going into college soon, and I'm just like, you know what? I've thought about doing manga reviews before this. Let's just fucking do it. So I just grabbed my suit, I grabbed my tie, grabbed my camera, grabbed a shitty broken tripod I had, didn't even have a fucking mount on it. Threw up a black sheet in my laundry room, grabbed some desk lights to use, and made my first YouTube video. My first manga review on YouTube, I guess I should say. And it wasn't popular by any means, but I had, like, let me put it this way. Doing a medieval review, I would be lucky if I got 100 views on that and 3 comments in the span of a month. In the span of a month, I would be lucky if I had 100 views and 3 comments. And, like, 1.5, and, like, 3.5 stars or whatever the rating system was back then. With the manga review, with the Bleach review, chapter 452, Erosion Implosion, still remember the chapter title, I got like 300 views in like a week. So 300 views, that's insignificant. That's nothing. But to me, that's 3 times what I'm used to, and I'm gotten like, instead of 3 comments, I'm getting like 10 comments. So the next week I do it again. Holy shit, I get 500 views and like 15 comments. So I keep on doing it, and I think you can pretty much connect the dots on where we're at now. So I guess if we're gonna round this back into me giving you advice on this, and I might just make a separate video on that too, because this video is getting kind of on the long side now. But let me just say, I went 2 years on YouTube without making any money, having absolutely no views, or very few views, barely any comments, barely any audience response, maybe like 2 or 3 constant fans. And look where I'm at now. I guess what I should say is, don't be afraid to try out new things. Don't be afraid to talk about what you want to talk about. You should be knowledgeable about your topic, certainly, but don't be afraid to talk about, like, I was afraid, like, I'm not going to be popular at manga because there's so many people that already do it better than I do, so what's the point in me getting involved? No, don't let that stop you. Go ahead and do what you need to do. Do what you need to do. It's kind of generic advice, but what are you going to... It's the best I got at the moment. I'm still pissed about the live stream, honestly. Anyway, yeah, and make sure you have good internet. That's another thing. That's the other moral of the story there. But I hope you enjoyed this story, my tale of the genesis of Tekking 101's YouTube career. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Signing out.